Hi everybody. Today's video is on the topic of be yourself. I find that too many people live their lives through the lens of other people. Sometimes it's in a relationship. You find the dictates of the other in that relationship dictates how the other should live their lives. And that life is very often lived through the lens of that other or people in general. You know, wanting to please people to get by in life just so as not to hurt any feelings. If that's you today and you are struggling with just being yourself, perhaps you don't even know who you are anymore because you've lived your life for so long under the lens of somebody else. Well, this video is for you, and I would just encourage you to keep watching. And if you like what you've heard, what you're seeing today, then I would ask you to go ahead and to like this video and to subscribe, and more will be coming your way. Keep watching. You're in relationship. It's one of the places of significance where people are supposed to live closely together and be a partner and all the rest of that. And so often it is quite imbalanced. And it's imbalanced because the power base of one of those individuals is gone. And very often that power base is given to the other. I've seen particularly women who have made themselves to be somebody that they are not. They will fix their hair in a particular way because the other has decided, I don't like you wearing your hair the way you like to wear your hair. I don't like you wearing makeup. I don't like you wearing those trousers. I don't like you wearing those shoes. And you've got to say, hang on a moment, but I like wearing them. I may want to please you in some way. And especially if they don't give you the time of day to tell you when you do think you look good. They don't say to you, you look fabulous, you look great, you look good. The warning signs are there. Sometimes you can be married to somebody who is a person who's very much in love with themselves. And because they're in love with themselves, you are never deemed to be good enough. You can never measure up. They are either the queen bee or the male king, but they are the it. And I hear people talking a lot about narcissistic behavior. And I believe that goes to some extent to that people who are very egocentric. And no matter what you do, you never get a look in. You never get a look in to say, you're doing good. You've done excellently. You are the creme de la creme, as they would say. You don't get any of that because you're being devalued. And when a person, man or woman, is placed in that category, in that relationship, they lose themselves. They literally come out of that with nothing. If they're not careful, they go doolally. In England, doolally means they just go out of their box. They lose themselves, they lose their voice, they lose everything that is beautiful and wonderful and genuine and uniquely wonderful about them. They lose it because they've bought into somebody else's viewpoint as to who they are. We can't afford to do that. You can't afford to do that because you are so unique. And as I said before, you're so wonderfully made. You are already fully loaded. Compliments are great, but they shouldn't make you. You need to know who you are. First of all, you've got to find your strength. And when you've found your strength, do you know one of the things that I think people sometimes don't like doing that shows that they're not enjoying who they are? They don't like taking photographs. Nah, don't take a photograph of me. No, I don't want my picture taken. Listen, honey child, sweetheart, dearest, you just get that phone in front of your face and begin to take some shots in every which way. Drinking a cup of coffee, take a shot. Putting on your lipstick, take a shot. Because you're beautiful. You're beautiful. And you need to tell yourself that. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you that. Be yourself. Find the beauty. Exude that beauty. Take pictures all over the place. Stop telling yourself, No, don't take any photos of me. Or when photographs been taken, you slink away. So many times I've seen that. And I want to scream, stop it. Stop doing that. You are worth more than you think. Take pictures of yourself. Next time, family photos, friends are taking photos, you're out for the evening and they're taking photographs, get your face in there. Get your face in there with a big old smile and say, I'm happy to be in this. And I don't care how it comes out. I'm just going to put my face in and smile. You take my picture. Get out there and be yourself. Enjoy being who you are. If you can't embrace you, then you won't be able to live you. And you will actually get older and shrink back, and you've never actually lived your life. So what am I saying today? Don't let anybody push you into the background. Be yourself. They will want you to fix up, put on according to their lens. Listen, some people don't have the right motive to speak into your life about how you should look. Some people don't want you to look good. Some people know that if you begin to put that hat on in that way, if you begin to put those colors on, you are going to shine. You're going to shine. You're going to go out there and you're going to make your mark, and people are going to notice you. People are going to see your face. Maybe you don't even wear makeup. And the moment you put some makeup on, maybe your eyes will begin to pop. No, they don't want that. They want you to stay where you are. Can you afford to do that? When you have such a precious, gifted life given to you, can you afford to live your life through the lens of somebody else? Somebody who don't know even how to tell you that you're looking good and tell you that you're the best thing since sliced bread? They're not telling you that, but you're prepared to sell yourself short to please them? You know, we come through years of people telling us what we should be like. And there are lots of expectations placed on us. I mean, you'd agree with that. Lots of expectation placed on us of what people want us to be like, what people want us to sound like. You know, there are some people, maybe you're listening to me right now and you're thinking, yeah, you're one of them. But you know, there are some people that I've heard some people say, I can't stand their voice. Their voice really puts me off. I can't listen to them speak because I can't stand their voice. But you know, even with that, that person is wired that way and there's nothing that they can do. Maybe go and get some voice coaching, but it's probably not about the voice coaching. It's just the tone of their voice maybe. So we have to find a way of getting in touch with who we are genuinely. That's the only way I think we're going to really enjoy life. Otherwise, we'll be living a life that is it's at our expense, but it's being what everybody else wants us to be. And the sad thing is that we'll never get to know the beauty of who we really are and the strength that we possess, because we look at Tom, Dick and Harry's strength. You know, they're the life and the soul of the party, but I wouldn't even try. You know, I'm not going to even go. I'm a fly on the wall. Nobody will take any notice of me. You know what? I used to be like that. When I was in my teens, I was so kind of like just quiet. If I went anywhere, I was just quiet. I wouldn't say anything. And my friends would say, oh, never mind her, you know, she's just there. She's like, and it was the fly on the wall kind of thing in the background. But you know what? You and I have a background. Yeah, there are some people who are in a group, they're evaluators. They'll sit still and just evaluate everything that's going on. And they can tell you from front to back what's actually taking place and who the main players are, where the strength lies in that room. And that's a great asset to have. And some people may think, well, I'm not the life and the soul of what's going on, but you could be an evaluator and you're bringing a strength to that group. And, you know, if you're not careful, you're equating it to what the next person is doing. And you've lost yourself in the process. The point is that I want to make here is that if we're not careful, we will allow other people to fill gaps in our lives. We see them as gaps. They need to be developed. We have areas in our lives that we've so undervalued that people will fill it with their own valuation. And the thing is that I truly believe that every one of us, made by God, are precious. Our thoughts, our personalities are just amazing. Our brain power is just amazing. And we've come fully loaded and fully equipped to make our mark on life. And so my words to you today is to be yourself. Be yourself. Know who you are. Find your strength and be yourself. And as I say, it wasn't always that way with me. Listen, one of the things that will creep in so often are negative self-thought. Yep, negative self-thought. And they will tell you all kinds of stuff about who you're not, what you're not. But if you're not careful, and some people do, you'll listen to that. You'll listen to it and you'll tell yourself, you know what? That's who I am. Because if that's how you're feeling, and then you agree with those negative self-thought, I'll never amount to much. I can't be like Sally. I can't be like Tom. I'll never make the grade. I don't have it in me. You know, I've walked through those places, and that's why I can share this. Because I remember I actually became, I was a magistrate for many years. And I didn't put myself in that category. I would never put myself in the category of sitting in a court of law and making judgments. I would never see myself as being able to do that. But somebody saw me and little old me cringing in the corner and said, "Do you know what? I think you would make a fantastic magistrate. I'm going to put your name forward." And I had the opportunity, or the choice rather, to say, "Oh no, not me." I did think long and hard about it, and I did think, you know, oh. But then I puckered up and I thought, let me just have a go. Let me just have a go. And I said, okay, okay, you can put my name forward. And little did I know, then a letter came. And I was drawn into a system of, we'd like to interview you. Went for the interview. Obviously, you get prepped and people help you along the lines of going for the interview and what to expect and all that stuff. And I went for the interview and they said, yeah, we'd like to invite you to start your training. And yeah, okay, they do delve into your background. And it took a whole year, I think it was, for me to go through everything that they needed to go through, all the background checks, all the training, all the this and all the that that they had to do. But I was in, and there I was, and then I became a chairman in the magistrates, which is the person who sits in the middle and, really and truly have control of what's happening in the courtroom. And you have your colleagues beside you, but you are the one. Now, who would have said that I could do something like that? Not me. No way. But you know what? I had to stop devaluing myself because I couldn't speak, or I didn't feel I could say much. I had to come out of that place. I had to break out of that place. And the swiftest way of doing that is by doing the opposite to what you're feeling, going in the opposite direction, doing some of the most daring things. I listen, I was one of those people who, if you go out to a reception and you have maybe your glass of wine and your little niblets on your plate, and you're supposed to walk around and make small talk with everybody, I would be cringing in the corner thinking, I can't do that. But you know what? I'd put myself out of that restriction, and would tell myself, you're going to do it. You're going to step out. And in gatherings like that, I would go out of my comfort zone of being in the corner, and I would go up to individuals that I've never met before in my life, and I would talk about anything and anything and everything. Just generally getting interested in the person in front of me. If it's a group situation, putting my little nose in there and beginning to talk. And you know what? It's not half as bad as it first appears to be, but it's all in an effort to just being myself and getting myself out there. You know, there's lots of negative self-talk that will say to us, you're not good enough. You don't know what to say. If you don't know what to say, begin to practice. Practice, practice. Talk to other people who do it. There are lots of books out there. And I think in my next episode of this, you hear how much of a novice I am with this. But my next filming, I want to bring about some books that I've read and some things that I've done that will help you maybe just to look through those books yourself. You can do it on Kindle, which is cheaper than buying the hard copies. And just seeing some of the books that I've used that actually helped me to get out of my narrow, restricted comfort zone into the wider place. There's always a bigger place for you, but if you can't see it and you can't believe it, you'll never get there. You'll always turn your mind set inwards, and being inwards is a place where you've always been, and you've got to venture out of that. You've got to get out of that place. And especially if you're in leadership, especially if you are in leadership, or you're married to somebody who's in leadership, and you know, listen, I know that our personalities are different, and maybe this is what I'm talking to today. Personalities that may be different, that puts you in a place where you just don't feel that you're that sociable person. You can do it. You can get out there and you can begin to socialize. You don't have to be the life and the soul of the party. What I'm saying is that you have areas in your life that is interesting, and you've got to be able to find it, and you've got to be able to go out there and make your mark and your stamp on the world. One of the best ways of finding out about you, getting in touch with you, because for so many, we are living on, and we're directing our lives based on what we want people to think of us, how we want them to see us. Don't worry about that. Be the beautiful you that you are. Be your beautiful, unique self. Be yourself. Because you see, there is a place, there's a place in this world for all of us to shine. Be yourself. Don't try to be like anybody else. That you're almost being cruel to yourself when you do that, because you're negating who you are. And you're selling yourself short to be like Susie and to be like John. And the thing is that you are amazing. You are absolutely amazing. It's when you and I begin to shrink because we're telling ourselves we're not amazing. We're not worth looking at. We're not worth talking to. That's when we're robbing ourselves of what we're supposed to be giving to humanity, to the next person, to our neighbors, to the person we're sitting on the bus next to the person in the shop that we're talking to. We should shine and smile and just be positive about, I'm good enough. You know, we're getting up in the morning and we're telling ourselves, I am good enough and I've got something to say. What I've got to say is important. What I look like, I am beautiful. And I don't let anybody's thoughts and their speak to be the dominion in my mind to tell me how to behave. Because I'm enough. I'm enough. And I'd say just be yourself. Let the radiance of who you are shine, because you are beautiful. It's one of the best ways of getting in touch with a sense of who you are is by putting pen to paper. If you're not journaling each day, begin to journal. Begin to have quiet times when you're least tired, quiet times when you're fresh, and you can think, you can be reflective, you can just think about yourself, the things you like, the things you don't like, maybe something that happened to you the day before, and you're going to put that to paper, and you're going to begin to think about, how did it make me feel? Who made me feel that way? What did their voice sound like? How did they present? How did it come across? Why do I think it made me feel that way? And begin to get in touch with what is affecting you in any way, shape or form that is negative and that is causing you to shrink. And you've got to have some comeback to that by telling yourself, well, why did it make me feel that way? What was it really about? Maybe there are some things that you might need to address. If it's somebody that you know, you may need to find the strength to address it with that person. Because the back of that, you're going to go in with, I am good enough. I'm valuable. I'm important enough. I have my space. And my space is good enough. And I want to say what I need to say. I'm not a shrinking violet here. I'm important. And be yourself. Be yourself. Don't allow others to dictate to you, to use their thoughts and their expectations to put you in some corner, to box you in a place where you don't belong. You are better than that. You are better than that. Spend time, reflective time, with pen, with paper, and begin to make a note. Make a note of the things that are affecting you, the things that you think, hang on a minute, why did I feel that way? I woke up this morning. Why did I begin to think that way? What was it that went ahead of me thinking that way? They say, what preceded me thinking that way? What was it that came in my thoughts that then led to me feeling this way? Get in touch with those places. Write them down on paper. Write them down and begin to dissect them. Pull them apart and begin to try and understand what it is that's actually pushing you in that corner. And I really believe that you'll begin to find answers as to why you are not being yourself, why you're having to do a song and a dance when so-and-so is around. Why is it that you have to be somebody else when so-and-so present themselves, or when so-and-so ring you up? You have to put on this facade. You have to suddenly be somebody else. Be yourself. Be yourself. You are good enough. You are good enough. Be yourself. So, in closing, just say, be yourself. Don't allow anybody to live their lives through you. You are your own person with your own strength, with your own beauty and your own abilities. Make sure that you shine. Make sure that you shine. The next time I film, I am going to be bringing some books along with me just to go through some of the stuff that I've read, some of the books that I've read that have really been useful. So that's me for now. Lady Mercedes, over and out. Have a good week.